Stop running the wrong race. A wake-up call from Acts 20:24. We are all runners, not just in the physical sense, but in life, business, relationships, and faith. The question isn't if you're running, it's which race you're running and why. The brutal truth? Many of us are breaking a sweat in the wrong stadium, and one day we'll cross a finish line that never mattered. Paul, the apostle who once hunted Christians, later wrote a line that confronts every ambition-driven soul in one swift blow. I consider my life worth nothing to me. My only aim is to finish the race and complete the task the Lord Jesus has given me, the task of testifying to the good news of God's grace. Acts 20:24. These aren't the musings of a burnout or the poetry of a monk detached from the world. This is the voice of a man who finally saw clearly. He knew the mission, he knew what mattered, and he ran that race like his eternity depended on it. The false finish lines we chase. Let's name the elephant in the boardroom and the living room. Most people are building ladders without checking which wall they're leaning against. In the pursuit of success, growing a company, launching a brand, and securing financial freedom, we often forget to define what winning actually means. Like Paul said, it's possible to run with all your might and still miss the point. We spend our lives accumulating metrics, titles, followers, revenue. But when was the last time we measured mission alignment? Think about it. You can build an empire and still bankrupt your soul. You can lead teams and still neglect your calling. You can make it and still miss why you were made. The race that actually matters. Paul wasn't anti-success. He wasn't preaching poverty or mediocrity. He was calling us to a higher scorecard. He's telling us, run, building lead, but make sure it's toward what lasts. His language, finish the race, complete the task, evokes a sense of urgency and stewardship. This wasn't casual. This was mission mode. His task? To testify to the grace of Jesus. That wasn't just Sunday morning work. That was his everyday work. His whole life aligned with it. Here's the shift. Paul didn't add purpose to his life. He surrendered his life to his purpose. What this means for business builders and visionaries. You've got a calling. And for many of you, it won't look like pulpit ministry. It'll look like P&L statements, product launches, team meetings, and tough decisions. That doesn't disqualify you. It positions you. Your business is your mission field. Your leadership is your pulpit. Your values are your testimony. Paul's model invites you to integrate purpose into the core DNA of your professional life. Imagine leading a business that isn't just profitable, but redemptive. Imagine creating culture that reflects Christ, not just because it's good ethics, but because it's who you are. Imagine seeing your coworkers not just as colleagues, but as eternal souls. That's not cheesy. That's an eternal strategy. The heart check. Are you on mission? Let's ask the hard questions. Is your calendar aligned with your calling? Are your goals kingdom-aligned or ego-fueled? Are you running toward impact, or are you running on autopilot? You can be productive and still unfaithful. You can be busy and still disobedient. Purpose doesn't come from momentum. It comes from mission clarity. You don't need to quit your job to get on a mission, but you might need to reframe it. You might need to rediscover the task Jesus has given you. And let me be clear, that task will always involve grace. It will always point people to hope. Business as a sacred assignment. Your work, your leadership, is not neutral. It's either revealing God's grace or hiding it. Paul's life teaches us that the task isn't separate from your work. It is your work, If God gave you influence, use it to elevate others. If He gave you a strategy, use it to advance the good. If He gave you a team, lead them like eternity is real, because it is. In this sense, your business becomes a megaphone for grace, not because you preach at your employees, but because you embody integrity, because you pursue excellence with humility, because you refuse to cut corners, because you see your clients and coworkers as image bearers, not just transactions. Finish, don't just function. This isn't about perfection. Paul didn't say he ran the race flawlessly. He said he finished it. That means endurance. That means sweat. That means perseverance when the mission feels foggy and your energy feels gone. But friend, it also means clarity. And clarity gives power. When you know why you're living, you know how to lead. When you see your work as worship, you stop measuring worth by what the world celebrates. When the grace of Jesus becomes your center, everything else finds its place. Lead on purpose. This is your moment. Not to chase harder, but to aim better. Not to build higher, but to dig deeper. Pause and assess. What race are you truly running? What finish line are you chasing? What would it look like to testify to the good news of God's grace in your role, your business, your sphere? Here's your challenge. Don't just be successful. Be significant, not by culture's definition, but by heaven's. Run your race. Complete your task. Finish your mission. Because one day, when the meetings are over, the emails stop and the numbers fade, one question will remain. Did I live on mission for what matters most?